George St-Pierre, what's going on, man?
Get yourself. Hey, Mark.
So we were just talking before you came in, and we were wondering because, it seems like the people last longer in the fight game than I think it was ever expected originally, and I think that's partly because it's such a young sport. I don't think anybody thought that we'd be seeing a Chuck Liddell, Tito Ortiz fight in 2018, but boom, there it is.
It's also because you're not just getting punched in the face like in boxing.
Exactly.
Boxers have you have two options, the body or the face. And at least with mixed martial arts, there's a bunch of shit you can do.
Right.
I believe it's because of your lifestyle, mainly, not only more because of your lifestyle and your training than your actual fight.
Well, you think boxers are more likely to go out and do coke and have sex and
have
fun?
It could be
Exactly.
that. There's a big part of it, but there's a big part of, for example, you fight when you're a top fighter in the world. You fight maybe twice, 3 times a year. So, but you train almost every day. So the way you train will define your longevity in career. I've seen a lot of guys. They have their best sparring in the gym. They leave their career in the gym. So you never saw the best out of them because they destroy themselves in training.
Yeah.
Can't do
And that's
that.
not smart.
No.
That makes no sense.
A lot of guys, they do that. A lot of guys.
Is that just ego?
It's an ego. It's also they're not directed very well. And I've seen it many times. I'm young guy. They go at me like basically try to rip my head off, and there's a time for that, but you can't train like this every day.
Well, they look at it like that's the main event. If they're training with you, it's like and they do something, or if they tap you, it's the main event for them.
Yeah, but it depends on your style too. If you have a style, for example. If I make an analogy, like more like a Arturo Getty style, like come forward and like phone book fight, and then take a punch to give one. This takes a toll on your body.
That is what people like watching too. Just two guys standing really close, just beating the shit out of each other.
Yeah,
I agree, but this is not the smart way to fight. If in terms of longevity, health, this is not the way to fight. It's a chess match, man.
Now, will you pull a young fighter aside and be like, "What are you doing, man? There's no longevity in this. You can't be fighting like this when you're sparring. This doesn't make any sense." Or do you just let them learn their lessons the way they're going to learn them?
Some are basically unteachable, but some listen. A good fighter will listen to you. He will adapt. He will modify his style. I believe one of the main key to become a best fighter is always to become the nemesis of who you're fighting up against. So to become that, you need to be able to change your style. If you can't change your style, you're always that guy that come forward to take a punch to give one.
Right.
You won't go far. You will have some interesting fight. Now, only a few fight, but sooner or later, your brain can't take that. You can't rely on your chin to win a fight.
I certainly can't, 'cause I don't have one.
George, for your last fight, your original trainer or your first trainer, Christophe Midou, what was his plan for your training camp?
Oh God, my trainer is a pretty hardcore guy. Not always the smartest tactic. He goes like, "It's been 4 years that you've been out. We don't know if you really want this. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fly one of my friends from Russia, and we'll organize a private fight. You and him." Alone in the cage. I'm gonna be the referee, and now you'll really knows if you want to do it.
This is before the Bisping fight.
Yeah, like a month before.
One of George's original trainers, who has a completely opposite philosophy.
So that's not sparring. He's just going to have you fight for real.
Like Rocky and Apollo at the end of part 3.
He sent George one of the greatest voicemails I ever heard in my life. George sends me the voicemail, and he's like, it's his old trainer,
it's
one of
his
first trainer. He's like, "George, before you fight Bisping, you have to decide if you really want to fight again. There's only one way to find out. I'm going to fly in." He named a particular Russian fighter, a killer, at 185 pounds, a killer.
Did he fly him in?
No. This is his proposal. This was his proposal.
And this guy was fighting too a few weeks after. So imagine the consequences of that. Even if I win the fight, I can break my thumb, lose millions of dollars because I can't fight for the actual fight.
Did you think that was a bad suggestion by him?
That was terrible. But he's completely insane. He used to make me when I first started my career at 9, before I was 19 years old. He used to bring me in the gym to he called out a training session. He said, okay, tomorrow you're going to join me at this place, at this address, at this time. And we're going to train there. So when I show up for training, a guy was waiting for me there. And I was like, this is when I was like 16 years old. And he goes like, today your training is you're going to be fighting that guy. However, you're not allowed to use any striking technique. You're going to have to beat him with your grappling. I'm like, what? He's like, this guy was basically mainly like a boxer, like just purely boxing guy, but much older than me. I was 16 years old, and the guy was like juiced out of his mind, like steroid. He was a boxer, but he goes, he can do whatever he wants to you, but you only can use your grappling technique. Don't hit him, because I'm gonna jump in and hit you if you do. And I was like, are you kidding me? I thought that's the way.
What's the purpose of that?
It's to learn the skills of not getting hit and bring the fight to the ground, which I'm very good at. That's how I developed my skill. But the consequences of it, if I would have messed up, could have been terrible. So he really had a philosophy of Darwinism, like you adapt or you die.
Yeah.
You're either going to be a big star or you're going to get murdered right here at age 16.
Let's just say Christophe Bidou has only one really good student.
Yeah.
That's George St-Pierre.
The one that survived. The one that survived,
It's
exactly.
like Michael Jackson's dad's philosophy. No, you'll be a star by the time I'm done.
Absolutely.
Or
You'll be a star, you'll transition and then die from propofol. Why did you take 4 years off, by the way? Why did you?
Oh, I think I don't like to say it like this, but now I'm more open about it. I think I was in depression a little bit. I had a lot of pressure for too long, a lot of criticizes, and the weight of carrying all that. Like I had a lot of also personal issues, plus the carrying all that weight of being champion, defending the belt, the criticizes and everything. It took a toll on me.
You were depressed about it?
And none that is all that together. I don't really know how to explain. I couldn't sleep at night. I had a lot of anxiety problem. I like to say, because people are like, "Oh, you were famous. You had money. Is what the point? You seek attention and stuff." I was like, no, really, I felt bad. I had like my heart was beating at night. I couldn't sleep. I felt my heart beating in my body. It was a very weird feeling. I had a lot of anxiety crisis and personal problem on top of that. Things didn't go well, my family and stuff. And man, I needed to take some time off. I really did. And this is a sport that need to keep going. You can't put the belt on hold and say, okay, wait, I'm gonna take a few months out and then come back. So I release it and I say, you go and forget about me.
Were you afraid of losing?
I've always been afraid of losing. I've always been afraid of getting hurt, losing, mainly losing because I'm a very proud guy, which is one of my biggest strengths as a fighter, I think. But it's also, it could be also a weakness because it drives you crazy.
when they start referring to you, I mean, does that, because that's what I was wondering, does the pressure really start to build when you start to build this reputation as he's the best fighter in the world? He's the best to ever do this. He's the best of all time, because now every performance has to be the best performance of all time, right?
And not only that, is that when you're a champion, people ask me sometimes, what is harder, to become champion or stay champion? Stay champion is much harder. Mm-hmm. The reason why you don't see a lot of fighters stay champion very long, because when you're a champion, you're on top, you're the target. The whole roster, they're looking at you and they try to study your game and try to investigate what is your weaknesses, how they can be your nemesis, how they can get you out of your comfort zone.
It's like the Me Too movement.
So it's only it's only your next opponent. It's only your next opponent that is studying you. It's the whole roster.
Right.
You, on the other hand, you have different challengers. As you win, you have another one. You only have a few months, maybe by the time the fight get announced, maybe 3 months to study a guy. But that guy that you study for 3 months, he been studying you for the last few years. Of course, if you've been on top for a long time, so you got a big advantage over you, and that's how it is. That's why it's so hard to stay champion when you're champion.
Plus, it's hard to motivate yourself once you have something. Like if I'm trying to date a girl, I'm great. Like I'll do anything. I'll take you out. I'm a loving person. But like once I'm in a relationship, I'm shitty because I already have you there. It's much harder to motivate myself. So it's kind of the same thing. Once you have it,
You don't have the hunger.
Yeah,
Yeah.
satisfaction is the death of an athlete. Like you need to constantly find yourself different motivation, different goals. That's why when I came back after 4 years, I didn't want to come back and do the same thing again. I wanted to take on a title in a new weight class, heavier weight class. I had 3 major criticizes. People used to say to me, "Oh, he never went up a weight class. He fights, he never finished his fight, because I was winning a lot of decision. Guys they knew me, they've been studying me so much, so they were very hard to finish. And also they were like, oh, he's too tactical. You need some kind of drama into a fight. So I wanted to address these 3 things when I came back. That's why I was very happy to do it, and it was a great motivation for me. So yes, like if you're satisfied as a champion, your chance of failure are much greater. But you need to reinvent yourself, find yourself new motivation to stay on top.
I'm kind of surprised to hear you talk about adding the dramatics to the fight. Like, there is a part of you that not only wants to win, but wants to make the fight entertaining.
Yes.
And I guess that's the business side of it.
That's a business. It's also the person you're fighting has a big role to play too, Michael Bisping, my dance partner, was very good at this.
Yeah.
He's a good trash talker.
He's a loudmouth.
Oh, yeah. He is. He's actually a very nice guy, but man,
he's great.
It was such a such a conflict. He's me and my bad English, I'm French accent of him, and he's
Did he point that out?
All the time. He's from United Kingdom, with his British accent. I was like, oh my God, what a clash that was. That was fun.
Yeah, but it makes people want to see it when 2 guys are just bashing each other. It's it's much more fun.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm not a good trash talker. That's not what I'm good at. I choose my battle very carefully. If I would have go into a trash talking war with him, I would have lose pretty much to everybody. If English is not my first language, so I choose my battle carefully. I'm good at fighting, but if 2 guys are respectful, I try to be authentic. I'm not good at trash talking, so I don't do it, and I don't feel like I should do it. But if the guys, if 2 guys are always nice to each other, it's kind of boring to watch. It's a fight,
Right.
Need some kind of drama to attract the people. The fight are built on drama. But the win are decide on mundane things that you do every day. They're not. People think the winning aspect of the fight are decide on drama. They're not. The build up is decide on drama.
So oh no, go ahead, Jim.
I would say, what did you for 4 years? You said you were depressed. What did you do when you were depressed to get out of it?
What I just needed to time to step back, take care of some problem, and also I had to breathe a little bit, because I'm a little bit obsessive compulsive. When I have something in mind, I think about it all the time. I when I drink, I think about it. When I sleep, I think about it. When I drive my car, I think about it. When I eat, I constantly going back in my head, Just to give you an idea, as much as a guy will think about sex, I will think about my goal in the same, as much as this, this is insane, which it is maybe something that make me good at what I do, but you become a little bit obsessive. So it took some time for myself. I had a time to travel. I'm a big fan of paleontology. I had a time to go on site in different places in the world. People are very surprised when I say that, but I like dinosaurs, things like that. So I had that time to travel, meet some paleontologists, microbiologists.
Jim, you can relate to the obsession, right?
Oh, the whole OCD thing, yeah, the whole obsessing on something.
Yeah.
I can't, but I don't. But at least you're able to sleep. I can't sleep.
What do you think about as much as some people think about sex?
My sexual, I would say my sexual failures. But it's hard not to. Like, to your mind just goes and it doesn't stop. Do you have any like weird rituals you do, like any things with numbers or anything like that, or like that are OCD ritualistic?
There's things that is mostly visualization, and I have this thing that I would never let myself leave my imagery, my visualization on a bad note, on a negative note. That's one of the key point I tell young fighters or performers, and when I do conferences, it's very important. Visualization it's like a rehearsal in your head. Mm-hmm. So when you do your thing, it's like not the first. It's you've been practicing before. This is very important. That's why you see some guys, they're very good in the gym, but when they go into the fight, they mess up, because the one of the best quality of a champion will be good when it counts. Will be able to pull the trigger when it counts. Uh-huh. Some guy, they're not good when it counts. When it counts, the pressure crush them and everything. So one of the main key for this is be able to visualize, and this is a skill that you learn as you do it. And visualize is very important because every part of your brain that when you fight, you can enhance all that these part of your brain that are reacting. The same part of your brain that will react when you fight, you will work on it while you visualize as well. So it's very important it's something that you learn as you do it. It has to be done.
So if you visualize something negative and shitty, you make sure you finish it on a positive.
Yes, exactly. And sometimes before I fight, I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes before I fight, because I'm scared and I doubt myself. Sometimes I see myself winning, but sometimes I see myself losing as well. Sometimes I see myself getting dropped. I see myself getting summoned or getting beat up, and I'm like, I can't finish like this. If I finish my visualization or I have a flash in my head, it's not good. So I have to think about it as if this thing happened, what I'm gonna do to get out of it. Okay, I'm gonna do this, then I'm gonna go back to the upper end and win the fight. Okay. And then I can finish my visualization and carry on with my day.
When you hear George St-Pierre talking about his self-doubt and the fact that like he struggled with it, you realize that no matter how good you get at anything, it's never going away.
Never. And it always, every fight get always bigger, and it's always more and more and more and more stressful, more pressure. And of course, you don't want to go back in life. You want to come forward and do more thing, and that's a good thing.
You know, my positive visualization is after sex that a woman doesn't ask me for money. One time she just had fun with it.
Doesn't ask you for money and had multiple orgasms. That's how you
no, I'm not getting greedy. I'll just take the money thing. The orgasm thing, I mean, I can't even sell that to myself.
You did some interviews like several years ago. You did Rogan, you did Chael Sonnen, and you were talking about how there would be periods of time that your memory would go away. Like you'd go like 2, 3, 4 hours, would just kind of disappear. And you theorized whether it was alien abduction or what it was.
No, I mean,
do you think it was alien abduction?
No.
Have you found out what it was?
This is because people they say that to me, but I look, man. This one thing, this occur, for example, when you lose memory, it could be like falling asleep. Then you wait. You know, this could be sleep paralysis. There is more logical thing. There is way more logical reason for that. You know?
You think so?
Yes, of course. The thing is that what freaked me out is I saw a movie and documentary that people that claim they got abducted by it, and then they say they had the same thing that happening to them. That imagine that would be what I said is like imagine that if I'm all wrong about those theory and that's what happened, that would be crazy, you know. But
I see.
There's way more logical explanation.
But it's still a possibility.
Yeah.
You don't know.
Oh, it is, but what we don't know. But I mean, I'd rather not think of that.
But you did see. I was reading that you and Rashad Evans at one point did see a UFO. Is that true?
We were 5 people in the car when I saw that, and this is true. And I didn't say like that. Once again, it's people that misunderstand.
Clarify.
They say alien. It doesn't mean if it's an unidentified flying object, it's an alien. It's unidentified. We don't know. Maybe there's probably an explanation to that we can explain, but at that time we can explain. You know, I read something like most of unidentified flying object, when they've been studied, there's an explanation for it. There's only a little percentage of it that there is no
small percentage they can't figure out what it is.
But that was pretty strange. And the thing that
what would it look like?
To me, look, that's the thing that makes it interesting.
Yeah.
Is the way I describe it are different than the way Rashad described it, the way that Mike Van Arsdale described it, the way that Ali Abdelaziz described it, and the way that another guy, Alejandro, described it.
Where were you guys?
We were in New Mexico. I remember we were on the highway and we saw kind of a light, and the light went like you know, like it appeared kind of, I don't know if it's like a flame, but not the color of a flame, like you see when you saw like a comet, like
a meteor,
but it was not like a meteor. It was like it came and you know, like you saw, then you stop seeing, then you saw, then you stop. It's like a corridor, you know, tung, 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 tung. And then it disappeared. It was strange. And then when it happened, we were in the car, and I remember when it happened, nobody says nothing. And then after a few seconds, when it happened, it's like, what the hell was that? Oh my God.
Did anybody think like 3 of you guys or 4 of you guys think, hey, that was a UFO? Did one guy go, no, it was was there one of you guys that was like, no, it's just a rock coming through the atmosphere, or all of you thinking it was something else?
Oh, if it was a rock, it was a very strange rock. I mean, maybe the angle, maybe I don't know. I don't know what it was. I can't. It's something that I don't know. I never seen anything like it. Like,
What are we?
it's hard to describe because there is not really anything
Compare it to.
that I can compare it to.
What are we thinking if we had to guess? Earth, flat or round?
Nah, of course, it's round.
Okay, I didn't know. You
There's
meet
a-
guys that are flat
there's
earthers.
there's a reason why you cannot see Mount Everest from your living room. You know, even if you have very strong binocular, because
Yes.
the hurt goes. You know what I mean?
I
yeah,
have no
that's
view.
Yeah.
yeah. and
So,
my-
you're
No.
a UFO guy or no? You believe in it?
UFO, I believe there is unidentified flying
Aliens,
object.
no, aliens.
If you listen to astrophysicists guy like Michio Kaku and all these guys,
Oh, I've listened to him.
the more we know now, we know there is a lot of planets that are like they're like Earth-like planet. You know, like the perfect distance between their star and they have like, you know, the condition that life could flourish. You know, so it makes it more and more likely as we learn about the cosmos that we might not be alone, but we have no proof of that.
I like Michio Kaku, but his examples, he does kind of use childish examples.
do you think he dumbs stuff down?
Yes, he does. A little bit too much.
How so?
It does, but I think it's to make people understand.
Yeah.
He's a very smart guy, very well educated. But if he speak with the same language that astrophysicists speak, a guy like me, for example, I'm too dumb to understand. I'm not educated, so he tried to make it simplify for people to understand.
But he really does. Like, I love. But he's like, you know, and little candy drops. You know, it's like, all right.
yeah.
Do you find yourself, like, especially when you have time off, do you find yourself falling into those conspiracy theory wormholes on the internet? Like, I do.
It's hard not to.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's I love to read about it. I mean, I think the moon. If they really went to the moon, I think they went to the moon. But the footage, actually, I don't know if it's really. We
Do you think
talk about
Kubrick
it for us and I. We don't know, man.
You think they
It's-
might have filmed it afterwards just to prove that they went?
Well, some I've seen a documentary, like a lot of the things been pointed out that could be wrong if it would really be on the moon, this, that. But I don't know. I'm not an expert in this, you know.
But you think Kubrick might have shot it? That's what they say.
I don't know. I really don't know. I'm not educated enough on that matter, but it's interesting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're fun to watch.
9/11, Kennedy, or you know, the assassination of Kennedy. All these things. You know, it's interesting, but I don't know.
The
It can be-
Holocaust, that's a myth.
Actually, Mark, I think that one was
Nah, I
proven.
don't buy it.
Okay.
But it is fun to go down those conspiracy. Even though I don't agree with the conspiracy, it's fun to read, like to watch where they
Oh,
go with
yeah.
it. And they're like, "Fuck, maybe they're right." Like it does make you.
When you're in the moment, like when you're watching their thing, you get they can make it super compelling. You usually have to find something else completely different to go, oh, there's doubt here too. But when you're locked into, when you're reading the thing or you're watching the documentary and it's that conspiracy theorist evidence,
Yeah,
it's really easy to get locked into it.
that's true. Then you go to a party and talk about it and everybody hates you.
Yeah, you know how many parties I've opened up with Dealey Plaza. And I'm like, shut up. We have like 3 minutes left with you. What are you promoting? Because we didn't even mention
The
what you're
Tim Tam.
promoting.
Well, for us, I had a great idea a few years ago. We came out with an apparel for recuperation, to help recuperation. It's pretty interesting. I can let him
To help
talk about
recuperate?
it.
Jim, I understand you're having problems with the ladies.
A lot of problems. Yeah. Does that thing help erections?
Yeah, is that a
With
penis
this in your
massager?
hand, it will be irresistible.
What does it do?
Oh. Whoa.
Oh,
Wow.
like
It's
a
like a jackhammer.
Now,
Wow.
can you put that in the anal cavity? Because that would be even better for Jim.
It's advertised as external use only, please.
Oh,
Jim.
okay.
What is it? So it looks like it's like an electric drill.
I'm gonna give Jim another shot.
a back massage.
Oh my God!
It's literally like a jackhammer.
It obviously doesn't help with headaches.
It's the
Wow.
world's most powerful handheld massager. It's made for athletes, football players, soccer players, MMA fighters, whatnot. It's the fastest way for recovering your muscular recovery. So after hard training, after hard sparring, You put that on your muscles, and it helps loosen up the joints and all that. But Jim, you can use it for other things, possibly. You know, I'm understanding you're having trouble with some in certain areas.
Yeah, I certainly am.
Now you can hold the power you've always wanted.
You can just beat your testicles up with it.
Wait, don't give the guys the wrong impression. I mean, I do like that, but I still don't want people to,
Right,
all
right.
Let me try this on my
Jim was up very late last night masturbating. You should know.
This would have helped you cut in some time.
You think so?
Powerful.
That's amazing.
Did it feel good on
It
your
honestly did,
calf
yeah.
just now?
It felt, because my calves are sore. I've been doing the weight vest,
Yeah,
George.
let me see. This is like a tiny little jackhammer. Oh my goodness.
Put it on your leg.
Okay. Wow.
Put it against your teeth.
And it's metal.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
can you
this
can
is-
switch
yeah.
the head. You can change the head.
Oh my
to
God.
use different areas. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
That feels very good.
I saw it sitting there. I'm like, I don't know what this is, but that's actually really awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
Here you go, bud. Let me do your wrist. How great does that feel, huh?
Oh, his hand is swishing around. That
It's
was
very, very
humiliating.
powerful machine.
Yeah, how do
Very
you-
powerful machine.
What's that thing on the side? That's the battery, or do you plug it
That's
in?
the motor.
That's the
Ah.
That's
motor.
the motor. It has an external motor.
Motorsport.
So it's called Tim Tam.
And is this a battery?
The battery's on the bottom.
Oh,
It's called the
yeah,
Tim
right
Tam
there.
Power. That's it.
This is
It's,
amazing. The battery really is. Does this have the same technology of like a power drill? Because that's
It
what
feels
it
like
is.
a power drill. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, it's similar.
Amazing.
Cool.
And this is going to take you to the next level, George.
Well, as athlete, we always look for different, more efficient ways to recuperate, right?
What?
Especially
What?
that helps. It's better than an actual hand massage. So it target the point that you want to work on. It goes deep tissue, and it's pretty efficient.
I like to use that on a woman too, because women always want a massage. Like, can you give me a massage? Like, yeah, all right, lay down. And fucking
Exactly.
drill it into her back.
Right in their
You'll
forehead.
save a lot of time with this. Yeah.
And you can get it at timtam.tech. Is that right?
Yes.
Do I have that website? How much do these run for?
Right now they're at $199.
Do you ever
All
think
right.
about bringing them on? This is what you do, both of you, because you bring George with you. Shark Tank.
Oh.
And I tell you
Ooh.
why. Because you come up with some bullshit, right? And you go like, oh, invest this much money in this. And it's not a good deal for the sharks. They'll say no, so you don't have to give up any of your company.
Right.
But it's a commercial.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody watches the Shark Tank. You're a celebrity, George. You go on Shark Tank. You go like, I'm George St-Pierre. This is what I use for my muscles. And look at these muscles.
Yeah, if they say no, you strangle them.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So I expect to see you guys on Shark Tank. But in the meantime, timtam.tech.
That's really great.
If you want to. Yeah, exactly. Get it
It's
for
like a
Christmas.
Yeah.
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 You're just shaking presents under the tree, and you just hear.
It really
What the
did
hell
feel
is
good.
that? It really did feel. It
Yeah,
felt.
that'd be
I've-
great on the back.
My legs feel more relaxed already.
Do they?
Oh yeah,
Awesome.
You're ready for your first UFC fight.
I am. I am. That's what it is. It's been too much muscle tension. Otherwise, I would have been doing MMA a long time ago.
And before we let you go, too, of course, Dana said that he doesn't want you to fight Khabib. Do you want to fight again?
Yeah. Look, the thing is, I'm at this point that, man, I have when I train, I feel very confident, feel strong, feel very great. I feel better than when I was 25. But sometimes I heard a lot of BS stuff and things. It's like I'm like, do I really want to go back into that circle? So I'm at this point. think I'm gonna take the holidays, think about it, and see what's gonna happen.
Oh, you might not want to worry with deal with the
maybe.
politics of UFC and all
Yeah,
that.
exactly.
Yeah.
And I understand they have a business to run, but if it's to go back and run for another title reign, because they have a business, cannot go back fight for a title, then you fight for a title, you have to keep the belt, defend it, and defend it, and I don't want to make the whole division on hold.
What did you think of the Tito and Chuck fight? Because people left that fight going.
Yeah.
I
Chuck has
watch
got to
it.
stop fighting.
I watch it, but yeah, I think Chuck will always be remembered as an incredible fighter that he was once were, but now he's gone. It's normal. There's an opponent that nobody can beat. It's time. Nobody can beat time. Even Bernard Hopkins, one of my favorite boxer, he did it until he almost he
Get knocked out of the ring, right?
Yeah, he was like 49.
I thought
He went
he was
to
50, he was
51.
Yeah,
Or
50, but he got knocked out. Now you have to stop. You know what I mean? There's a point that you just can't do it, man. And it's normal. That's the way life goes. You know what I mean? I'm 37. You know, like I feel great. You know what I mean? it's only what age you have. I believe it's the window. You know, I've started doing it when I was 19 years old. So I had my window is very long. You know,
Right. But if you don't start until you're in your late 20s or something, you got a short window.
You don't want the sport to retire you. You want to retire from the sport.
And you
that's
feel like
always
maybe-
one of my goals.
Maybe the sport retired Chuck officially, you think?
I don't like to talk bad like that. But I hope I like Chuck. I hope he will not go back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I remember Chuck as the dominant champion that he once were. You know, I don't want to remember Chuck as the guy like, oh man, did you see he came back and it was too. It was not. You know what I mean? It
It's
was
like when you
not
watched
good.
Ali fight, like Larry Holmes or
Yes,
Trevor
you,
Berbick.
you,
One of those
you
guys.
don't want that. You don't want that. You want to go out on top, and that's how we should remember Chuck Liddell.
That's the best thing Mike Tyson ever did. It's just he realized in that fight when he lost, he was like, I'm done. I quit.
Yeah, he's like,
Goodbye.
I can't do this shit anymore.
I'm going to go do one-man shows and whatnot.
You know, Tyson did point to his opponent. He goes, like, I know when I lose to a guy like this, I'm finished. Kind of embarrassing for the poor fucking guy. Mike, you
Love
could
it.
have said that later.